Ever since I was a kid, I thought that the devil was out to get me. And the reason for that was because, as far as I can remember, I would have these reoccurring nightmares, like once or twice a month, where I would wake up and I couldn't move. I could see the walls and the ceiling of my bedroom, but they would look really weird, like out of proportion. Sometimes it would give me vertigo. When that happened, when I woke up to that situation, I knew exactly what was going to happen next. I would feel presence in my room, and it was evil and dark and wanted to harm me in some way. Sometimes it would be on the other side of the room. Other times it would be standing like right next to my bed, and then sometimes it would be floating like over me. On those really bad nights, it would come down and sit on top of me, and I wouldn't be able to breathe. It would be suffocating me. And I could just feel like the hate that was emanating out of it. Growing up, I was really skittish and timid as a kid about this kind of stuff. I would scare easily, be sometimes nervous in the dark, which is really embarrassing to admit because as an adult, I'm supposed to not be afraid of the dark. But the truth of the matter is that if it's pitch black or I'm walking down like a dark corridor at night, I get kind of nervous and a little bit scared. I grew up in a religious home, and the idea of the devil existing, like really existing, was not a far leap of imagination, especially for a little kid. And it wasn't until I was about 22 years old when I realized that it wasn't the devil like coming after me. That wasn't why I was having these experiences. It was because I had a condition called sleep paralysis. And what it is when you fall asleep, the brain sends a chemical that paralyzes your body so that you're not moving around or walking around while you're dreaming. Sleep paralysis is when your brain wakes up, but your body is still paralyzed, and it takes a while for your body to get unparalyzed. Usually it happens simultaneously when you wake up, but if you have a sleep paralysis attack, is what I call it, then you can't move, but your brain is still awake. Your brain is awake, but it's between kind of that threshold of dreaming and being consciously awake, so it's really easy for your brain to hallucinate. Around the same time, like most religious people do, I started questioning a lot of the elements of my faith that I grew up with. And so a lot of the different elements kind of came under scrutiny, where I would question the existence of heaven, or the existence of God, or the existence of divine intervention. It wasn't until afterwards that I really realized I had never questioned the existence of the devil. I was more ready to question the existence of absolute good in this world before I was ready to question the existence of absolute evil in this world. As my faith evolved, the hallucinations changed. I don't really hallucinate that much now about like an evil presence in my bedroom. Like the hallucinations have become much more mundane and not so supernatural, but they're just as terrifying. Probably the most terrifying sleep paralysis attack hallucination that I had was I had just become a new father, and about 3 months in, I had fed my son a bottle, and we were sitting in this kind of lazy boy recliner chair, and he was, I was holding him, and we had fallen asleep together, and it probably looked really adorable and cute because, like father and son sleeping on this recliner. But I woke up about 10 minutes later, and I realized that I was experiencing sleep paralysis, which was nothing new. But I was holding my son, and I started to kind of panic. And so my brain decided to hallucinate my son slipping out of my hands and tumbling to the floor. And I could see him tumble down and hit the ground head first, and there would be this sickening crack. And then my son would be back in my arms, and then he would start to slip out again and hit the floor head first with a sickening crack, and it just kept happening like over and over and over again. about 4 or 5 times. And then finally I woke up, it just, boom, you wake up and I realize he's still safe in my arms, still sleeping. But I am just, my heart is going crazy. Sometimes I wonder if I still believe in the existence of a devil. Like, does the devil still exist, right? And sometimes I wonder that. And really, I really don't know.